Hey friends, I'm here to talk to you today about creating brave boundaries. So if you're a high achieving career woman who struggles with creating brave boundaries or having boundaries at all, this conversation is for you. And you may suspect this. Really, when we're struggling with boundaries, it actually starts with your own relationship with yourself. And so I'm going to be in that conversation today, and stay to the end. I'll talk to you about how you can start to really create and establish habits and routines that are going to help you with really good boundaries with others, and really in particular with yourself. Okay, let's get started. So the biggest challenge I see for any woman, if you are struggling with boundaries at all, it really is because you have not set and established clear boundaries for yourself. And when I say this, you have to start to look at what are the things in your life that are disintegrating you and really interrupting your ability to feel whole and connected and really good with who you are. And these are really simple things that all of us do. And you want to notice when they're actually disintegrating you from your own experience of wholeness. There are things like Netflix. I love me some Inventing Anna and some other shows on there. And when we're spending a lot of time on Netflix, what's happening is you're getting dopamine hits, you're starting to appease this idea and make yourself feel like you're de-stressing yourself. But actually what you're doing is bringing in a lot of input and a lot of ideas and cultural systemic things that are coming into you that are starting to make you feel not so great about yourself. So looking at Netflix and watching a show is actually, for many people, contributing to a lower sense of self and wholeness and connection to you. A glass of wine. If you're in the habit of having a glass or two of wine every single night, that is for sure interrupting your connection to yourself. It's just a surface way of taking down stress. I'm a huge fan of alcohol as celebration. I love to toast myself after a big win. But if you're actually using it as a consistent way to try to take your stress down, that's the area you want to take a look at. Those things are the things that disconnect you from yourself. Other things like your phone, huge culprit, social media, for feeling like your life isn't good enough. You're looking at something beautiful and perfect or fun or creative, and you start to feel like you're not beautiful or fun or creative or whole. These things are disconnects from wholeness and from self. So one of your jobs is to actually start to have a boundary with yourself and start to set a pretty firm, clear one that will allow you to stay connected to self. What's been coming up a lot for people is the news. I need to stay up on the news. And what's happening is every time you're reading the news, again, you're starting to feel fear and worry and doubt and disintegration with yourself and your own wholeness. And so how can you start to actually make some boundaries and set those boundaries for yourself to then start to actually set some boundaries to do things that support you, doing things that actually really truly connect you to yourself and your body. Nature is a great thing. And even if you live in a place where there's not a ton of nature, you can always look up at the sky, look up into clouds or the sunshine or whatever it is to get yourself connected into your own wholeness. You can do it by moving your body consistently. And this can be easy movement. A walk, a 15-minute walk will do more for you than pretty much anything in terms of resetting your brain and getting you connected back to yourself. Music, a huge way that you can get back into connection to self. And really, I'm talking about anything that makes you feel joyful and grounded and like yourself again. There's other ways to do it. Snuggling a pet, huge way to get grounded and back into yourself. You can do really simple practices. Like I like to bring my hand on the top of my head, and that brings me into an energetic touch point that is very grounding. Choosing things that actually make you feel legitimately better. So I'm going to give you a little story on this. One day I was having a really stressful day, and I was walking my dog, and I still wasn't feeling better. And there was just a lot of incoming stress that was going on. And I thought to myself, okay, Nicole, if you go back to your house and you get on your phone, like that'll decompress you. Except I know better. I know that that doesn't actually make me feel better. So I actually asked myself, what will legitimately, genuinely make you feel better? Hugging my dog. So I went home, my dog sat on the couch, and I hugged her for like a solid minute. I just held her. I held her warmth. I felt how grounded she is. I felt how connected she is. And I thought, okay, this is going to work. And then at the end of it, I called it a power hug. At the end of our power hug, I felt better. That's what you're looking for, something that legitimately helps you remember you're whole, you're beautiful, you're worthy, and that actually everything in your life is really quite beautiful. Gratitude is a great practice to do this, starting to acknowledge yourself for those things. So those are the two components of starting to really create boundaries with other people, is being brave in your own boundaries with yourself and making any time for you a non-negotiable. Morning habits, morning routines is a huge part of this. So if you are struggling to set these boundaries for yourself, you're struggling to really create brave habits for yourself, check out my morning routine challenge. It's a freebie I've got here just for you guys. Check it out, click on that link, and it's going to give you 5 days in a row of little micro habits that you can establish for yourself to really create a really beautiful foundation and routine. It took me years of practice, trial and error to establish a routine that really worked for me. And I wanted to distill it down for you so it doesn't take you months and years to figure this out, but actually in 5 days, you can establish for yourself really simple habits that are going to help you every single day to have brave boundaries with yourself, to start to establish really beautiful boundaries with yourself out in the world. All right, I'm Nicole Song. Hit like, hit subscribe if this resonates with you. And I'm here every week with new videos talking about boundaries, around work-life balance, around movement. And I'm so honored and grateful that you're here.